request all the students to kindly put on the video so I can see you and so can the other members of the faculty. And you will be meeting the rest of the faculty members, the teachers, who will be handling the different subjects and helping you sail through your studies in class 11 and 12 very, very smoothly and easily. So I request you to kindly put on your audio and then put on your video and put off your audio so that other noises are not there. Ranjita, MD Sahil, Rupayan, Ravi, please put on your video. Yes, can you see me, Sahil? Rupayan, can you see me clearly? Okay, thank you very much. Now. Alright, so we are doing this virtual orientation program for the first time. So it is also a very new experience for all of us. So please keep your audio off, okay? Otherwise there will be lots of disturbances. So our candle lighting has already been done and we have already done our Omkaras. So let's begin now. I'd like to welcome all of you, all of my dear students, to the new session of class 11. And I hope with all my heart that the two of us will have a lovely time, we'll have a very inspiring and knowledgeable time, and get through our syllabus very, very easily and score the best of the marks at the end of the session. So I welcome you all once more. So over now to Sir Adarsh for a brief history of St. Dominic's. For all the old students you already know it. It's for the new students who do not actually know how our school's name became St. Dominic's and brief history of all that. So I hope it will be a fun time for you. Okay, so you will be knowing more about what you already know to the old students, and new students you'll get to know us better. Thank you.
Good morning, students. So, dear children, I welcome you all to our school today and let them enlighten you about our school and its history spanning over 31 years. St. Dominic's School, but now it has been changed to Jaigaon St. Dominic's School. After registration, is named after a holy child named St. Dominic Xavier. He was born on 2nd April 1842 in Italy and died on 9th March 1857 at the age of 14. He was studying to be a priest. He had divine powers and was honored in Roman Catholic Church. He was blessed by Pope Pius XII on 3rd June 1954 in Rome. Christians celebrate 6th May to commemorate him. And the first principal of the school was late Mr. Viswanathan. He was an Indian Christian and the person who named our school as St. Dominic's School. Our beautiful song was composed by a teacher, Sir Vikas, in 1990s. He is from Dalsingpara and he is now working as a government school teacher in Ganesh Vidyalaya, Dalsingpara. And our school motto is Serve Nation Through Education. And our students are divided into 4 houses, as you all know that, Poinsettia, Orchid, Pimpernel and Daffodil. Our school motto was made by Sri Madan Yonjan. He is our relative and is currently in USA at Atlanta. He was a horticulturist doing research work in quinine plantation at Darjeeling. Our director sir, as you know, you all say head sir, is Mr. Bibi Khawas, and our principal madam is Mrs. Asa Khawas. We have completed 30 years caring for children of Jaigaon. Our school was established in the year 1990 with only 62 students from nursery to class 4. Many problems were faced by the management to raise the standard of the school during those days. But at the same time, we had very well-educated teachers who were hardworking and dedicated. At the same time, we also had extremely cooperative parents and students. Our school is one of the oldest schools of Jaigaon. Gradually, year by year, the classes were upgraded and our first batch of students appeared Madhyamik exam in the year 1998. The results was 100% and till today, the students continue to maintain the record. We are very happy and proud to have you all here. Hope you will maintain the tradition and discipline of the school from today onwards. You are the 13th batch of students who will be appearing at this examination in 2023. This year too we had 100% pass users in class 10 as well as in the 12th. This I believe is all due to right guidance and dedication of our teachers and cooperation of students like you all, and above all the blessing of Almighty God. In the days to come, let us journey forward towards knowledge and set milestones of success. Thank you, and once again, welcome to St. Dominic's family. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Okay, once again, good morning everyone. And I am Miss Sandhya, your faculty from Commerce. I will be teaching you 3 subjects: accountancy, costing and taxation. Today I will introduce you the subjects. I will tell you little bit about the subjects we will be learning in future. So very first about accountancy. So you have seen people doing business, right? So why do they do business? For earning profit. Now how will the businessman come to know whether the business is running in profit or in loss? By calculation, right? So in accountancy we will learn about the calculation. For calculation, long term. No, I will not speak. So for business we need to do calculation for calculating the profit and losses. So how the calculation is done? For calculating profit we need some details, right? And for that details we need to record the transaction. Transaction here means buying or selling of goods in return of money, in exchange of money. When the goods are exchanged, goods or services are exchanged, and in return if we get money, then only it is called as transaction. Okay, so these transactions are recorded, and then we compare the cost and the selling price, and then we calculate profit. So this recording, summarizing and calculating the profit is the rules, the principles we learn, that is what accountancy. Okay. Now moving forward, next subject is costing. Costing is another branch of accounting where we learn to calculate the cost of goods. Manufacturing companies, they adopt this accounting system and they calculate the cost of the product. Okay, suppose a manufacturing company is producing a pen. Now at what price they should sell the pen? For that they need the cost price, right? So for calculating the cost price and selling price, some systematic method has to be used. That method we learn in cost accounting, okay, which we call it as costing. Now another is taxation. So we have heard the word tax, GST, right? So how this tax is calculated? Is all the incomes taxable? For all the incomes, do we need to pay the tax? No. There are some incomes for which we do not have to pay the tax. There are some limits till which we don't have to pay the tax. So about this, we will learn in the subject taxation. So more we will learn in our classes, in our future classes. For today, I will end up my speech here. And I hope with your cooperation and my guidance, we will reach at the top of the success. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. So my name is Rakesh Singh. I am a political science teacher, and as you know that political science is a subject which belongs to arts, isn't it? So you better know that political science is a subject related to the government and all the affairs of the government, whether smaller basic age to the productive age. We see that multiple options are there. Usually if we talk about the government there are three organs, isn't it? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. These three, they have a different functions, which we see it out in our daily day-to-day life. Executive are the one, especially it's talked about the ministers and others who all are talking or they are dealing about with the people. Legislature, which is also said to be as a law-making body, in our basic example, if I give you, it's related to Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. They belong to legislature. And the last body is considered to be as judiciary, which if a person, if they are doing any heinous crime or if they are passing on any mischievous activity, so judiciary is the one who punishes the law of India. So these three organs and the other organs of the government we will be learning about in political science, and political science is also considered to be as the mother of all the other subjects. So you need to be very cautious in this subject and will enjoy this moment when you come to the school. And during the classes you can question me up, even I will be questioning you up, and then we will be creating a history. Thank you.
So myself, Neetu Gupta, I'll be teaching in both commerce and arts stream. So in commerce, I'll be teaching you all business studies, and for the art students, I will be taking economics. And economics is for only Nepali readers. Okay? So first of all, let me introduce you with our commerce subject, that is business studies. So business studies is that branch of commerce where it deals with how we trade, we do business with different people. Okay? So this business study will help you in getting more knowledge about trading systems and how to develop a good relation with your customer as well as other industrial factors also. Okay? So every one of us are either connected with business in normal ways or we have our own business, right? So business study is that study which will help you in combining all those elements of accountancy, cost, industrial structures and all different factors which will help you in smooth functioning of business. Along with that, we will also study how some principles will help you in keeping your business smooth and slow. Okay? Now let me introduce you with subject economics. So in economics, we will learn about our society, about our country, how a country is run. Generally, your word economics has come from a Greek word which is called as economia, which means household management. So economics will deal about how we are able to manage our different activities. Now activities are classified into two types: economic activities and non-economic activities. So learning economics will help you identify which are economic activities and which are non-economic activities. That will help in understanding the overall activities that goes on around us in our economy. So last, I would like to tell and conclude you with saying that it's a pleasure for us to have you here in our Syndamics family. We are going to create a history because you are a special batch with science stream, right? So that's all. Thank you.
All of you, my name is Prashant Ingma and I'll be a faculty of physics. And before teaching, I would like to introduce myself, what are my degrees and what are my qualifications. Okay, I have done BSc Mathematics Honours from Siliguri College, and currently I am pursuing Masters in Mathematics from NVU itself. Okay, and I will be teaching you physics. Now, I'll be talking about physics of class 11. The physics of class 11 is very different, right? In this, physics of class 11, you will be seeing a lot of new things, like derivation, why is the earth round, okay, origin of the formulas, Newton's law, everything you will be learning over here. And in class 12, we will be learning about electricity. Okay, there are two things. First, we will be learning about day-to-day life in class 11, and in class 12, we will be learning about electricity only. So, there are a lot of things in physics, okay? So first of all, there are oceans of formulas. You will be seeing a lot of formulas, and in physics, most of the things are related to mathematics. That means each and everything is related to mathematics. There won't be a single day in which you won't see sine theta and cos theta. This thing, you'll see it every day. Like sine theta and cos theta will be like your relatives. You can see them every day. Okay? And like relative, you have to use this thing in each and every chapter, whether it be chemistry, maths or physics. So I'll be helping you out to solve all of the problems in physics, and then you can work out on all the examples as well. And I can only guide you, but the hard work has to be done by you itself. You can bring a lot of questions I will here to solve, whether it be in WhatsApp, whether it be in the virtual class, or whether it be in the offline class. I am here to solve all of your problems. Okay. Thank you everyone.
Good morning everybody, myself Ekta Kochar. I am going to teach you CLPA, that is under Commerce Stream. The full form of CLPA is Commercial Law and Preliminaries to Auditing. Okay, first of all, let me tell you something about commercial law. Commercial law is basically what? Commercial law is all about the legal things or documents or the things that we need in order to do any type of business. Okay, commercial itself, it means business. Okay, so commercial law will tell us how a person will legally do his or her business. Okay, now next comes your auditing. Auditing is a rechecking of all the works done by an accountant, by an auditor, in order to give a true and fair view of any financial statements for the financial year of any business concerns. Especially this report is given to the shareholders so that they can see to it whether their investment is going in the right way or not. So that is about your auditing. So all the things we are going to learn in our class, and let me tell you that this subject is theoretical subject in which you can score a lot if you study, and it's very simple and easy. It's not too hard, but if you are going to study hard, then your grade, your marks in your results, it's going to go high because of this subject. So hope you all to see you soon in our St. Dominic's family, and hope we all will do very fine together. Thank you.
Very good morning to my dear students. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all for passing out your Madhyamik with very good marks. And at the same time, I want to welcome you all as a new member of St. Dominic's. Now you are no more junior students, you have cleared out your Madhyamik and you have entered to your higher secondary. So I want to welcome you all once again. Now the subject which I am going to teach is mathematics, and I am going to teach mathematics to the students from science background at the same time commerce. So me along with one of my fellow colleagues here, Ms. Priya, is also going to handle mathematics because the syllabus out there is very vast. So we have divided the syllabus into different parts. Okay, so I believe that whatever you all have learned till class 10 as mathematics is one of the subjects, you are going to face it for 2 more years if you want to continue with commerce and if you want to continue with science students. So the syllabus which you all have covered up till class 10 and the syllabus which you are going to face in class 11 is going to be a little bit difficult because there is a gap. There is a small bridge where you need to cross it by hook or crook. So I'm going to help you all out with my all knowledge whichever I have, and I'm going to simplify my syllabus, my part of things, and I'll make you. I'll give my best, and I'll try to make you all understand the syllabus and the things. So it's great. So once again, welcome. I'm going to take mathematics as for commerce student and mathematics. Thank you everyone.
Okay, first of all, good morning, my children. So I heartily welcome you to this our orientation program of 2021. You are well and safe at home. So this is our first orientation program which we are conducting as a virtually. Otherwise, if there was no pandemic in this situation, we are doing it every year school only. So let me introduce myself. I am Priya Bhavi. I would be teaching you all mathematics as part of the portion will be taught by Mr. Sahil and another portion will be taught by me. As you all know, mathematics is one of the important subject and it is a major subject and it is present in commerce section also and in science section also. So some of you have in commerce section instead of mathematics you are costing and taxation and those who have taken mathematics, so it will be very useful in your life. Yes, you know that in each and every section after passing out the 12th, if you are going to give any entrance exam, science stream and all, it is very useful. And those are taking the science stream, you have to work very hard. Even the commerce student also, math is not very hard since you are getting this subject from the nursery section only. At the last, I want to say that if you will practice properly, you will gain it. So that's all. Okay. Thank you everyone.
Good morning everyone present out here in our Google Meet. So I'm here all of you know me from beforehand. I'm Ms. Shriti Kapoor. I'll be teaching you chemistry and let me give a brief idea about what a chemistry subject is. Okay, in chemistry we'll be learning about all the chemical compositions, transformations, starting from chemical, organic to inorganic parts. Okay, so these all are the topics that we'll be learning in our chemistry and hope you all will enjoy our classes and that's all for today. Thank you.
Good
morning everyone. On behalf of Begum St. Dominic School, it's my pleasure to be here and myself, Joseph Subba, faculty from Arts section. So I'm going to teach you geography. So before that, I want to introduce the stream. What is it? Humanities or arts? It is a stream which includes the subjects like political science, history, geography, environmental studies, etc. So through which you can gain a varieties of knowledge, informations, and have great alternatives about your careers. So after that, I want to introduce my subject, that is geography, which is I'm going to teach you in your class 11 and 12. So geography, you are familiar with this topic or this subject from your earlier classes. That what is this? It's totally dealing with the odds form, isn't it? So geo means odd and this form, this graphy means your forms or landforms. So it is a discipline that having a bridges between the socials and the natural science. So you can have an idea of difference like for examples like climatology, biology, hydrology. So about this all you are going to learn, as well as it has a great futures in further studies if you do, and it has two main branches, that is physical geography and human geography. What you learn in physical geography? In physical geography, you are learning the various phenomena, natural phenomena relating to the Earth's surface. And in human geography, you are going to learn about the human behaviors and processes. So, I welcome you all and meet when we will have the classes offline, and we will do great hard working as well. I am guiding you and you also have to do hard work. So, we will do a score of good marks in your class. Okay, thank you.
गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, मेरा नाम आशीष छेत्री है और मैं दलसिंहपारा से संबंध रखता हूँ और मैं सेंट डोमिनिक्स स्कूल आप लोगों का हिंदी शिक्षक हूँ। बच्चों में 11वीं 12वीं कक्षा में मैं आप लोगों को हिंदी भाषा, व्याकरण एवं साहित्य के विषय को मैं पढ़ाऊँगा। हिंदी भाषा का ज्ञान होना अति आवश्यक है। सबसे पहले मैं आप लोग को हिंदी जो शब्द है, हिंदी शब्द के महत्व को मैं समझाना चाहूँगा। भारतीय सभ्यता या हिंदुस्तान का सभ्यता का विकास सिंधु नदी के किनारे हुआ था और सिंधु नदी के चारों ओर के क्षेत्र को सिंध प्रदेश कहा जाता था और भारत में प्राचीन काल से ही विदेशी लोग व्यापार करने के लिए आते थे। तो अरबियन भारत में व्यापार करने के लिए आए थे और वे जब बोलते थे उनको स बोलना नहीं आता था और जब प्रोनाउंसिएशन करते थे, जब उच्चारण करते थे, स को ह कहकर वे लोग उच्चारण करते थे। तो सिंध प्रदेश को, जो तत्कालीन आज का भारत है, उस सिंध प्रदेश को इन लोगों ने हिंद प्रदेश कहना शुरू किया अरबियन ने, और सिंधु नदी को हिंदू नदी कहकर इन लोगों ने पुकारना शुरू किया। और सिंध प्रदेश में जो लोग रहते थे उनको हम लोग सिंधी कहते हैं और इन सिंधी लोगों को अरबियन ने आकर सर्वप्रथम हिंदी कहना शुरू किया। तो बच्चों, तो सिंध प्रदेश को हिंद प्रदेश, सिंध प्रदेश को सिंधुस्तान भी कहा जाता था, उसको हिंदुस्तान कहना शुरू किया और सिंध में रहने वाले लोगों को सिंधी कहते थे, उसको हिंदी कहना शुरू किया। और सिंध लोगों की भाषा सिंधी थी, उसको हिंदी कहना शुरू किया। तो बच्चों, इस प्रकार सिंध प्रदेश को हिंद प्रदेश और सिंधी भाषा को हिंदी भाषा और सिंधी लोगों को हिंदी कहकर पुकारना शुरू किया। तो इस प्रकार आज जो भी भारतवासी है, तो हिंदी कहने का तात्पर्य केवल हमारा भाषा ही हिंदी नहीं है। यहाँ पर हिंदुस्तान में जितने भी लोग रहते हैं उनको भी हिंदी ही कहा जाता है। जैसा चाइना के लोगों को चाइनीज कहा जाता है और जापान के लोगों को जापानीज कहा जाता है, ठीक उसी प्रकार हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को हिंदुस्तानी या हिंदी कहा जाता है। ये बात आप लोगों को जानना अति आवश्यक है। इसके बाद हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास का विकास हुआ धीरे धीरे। सर्वप्रथम हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास किसने लिखा? सर्वप्रथम हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास एक फ्रेंच विद्वान गार्सा दत्तासी ने हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास, हिस्टोरी द लिटरेचर एंड द हिंदुस्तानी, ये हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास ये लिखा। लेकिन इसमें भूल क्या थी? हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास होते हुए भी ये किताब फ्रेंच भाषा में लिखा गया, इसलिए इसको साहित्य के रूप में हम लोगों ने स्वीकार नहीं किया। तो दूसरी बार हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास लिखने वाले विद्वान थे, एक अंग्रेज विद्वान थे, जॉर्ज बियर्सन। उन्होंने वर्नाकुलर लिटरेचर ऑफ नॉर्दर्न हिंदुस्तान बोल के हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास लिखा, लेकिन उसमें भी वही त्रुटि, साहित्य हिंदी साहित्य का है लेकिन अंग्रेजी भाषा में लिखने का, उसको भी हम लोगों ने स्वीकार नहीं किया। उसके बाद शिव सिंह सेंगर साहब आए, उन्होंने शिव सिंह सरोज नाम की एक किताब लिखी, लेकिन उसमें कवि उनकी रचना का जो तिथि है उसमें बहुत सारी त्रुटियां निकली, उसको भी हमने एक प्रामाणिक साहित्य के रूप में स्वीकार नहीं किया। उसके बाद 8 लेखकों का समूह ग्रुप मिश्र बंधु, 8 लेखक थे इनमें, मिश्र बंधु। इन लोगों ने मिश्र बंधु विनोद नाम की एक पुस्तक लिखी जिसमें 500 कवियों का परिचय था, लेकिन इसमें भी कौन पहले कवि जन्म लिया और कौन कवि बाद में जन्म लिया इसका सीक्वेंस के साथ इन्होंने वर्णन नहीं कर सके, इसलिए इसको भी हमने स्वीकार नहीं किया। बाद में हिंदी साहित्य के महान विद्वान आचार्य रामचंद्र शुक्ल जी आए, उन्होंने समस्त हिंदी भाषा का अध्ययन करके, हिंदी कवि लेखक का अध्ययन करके उन्होंने एक हिंदी साहित्य का आलोचना नामक एक पुस्तक की रचना किया और वो उसी पुस्तक को हम आज प्रामाणिक मानते हैं और आज हम कक्षा में पढ़ रहे हैं बच्चों। आचार्य रामचंद्र शुक्ल के इस पुस्तक के ऊपर में समीक्षा करते हुए एक समीक्षक ने लिखा है, यदि कोई व्यक्ति भविष्य में जाकर हिंदी साहित्य का इतिहास लिखता है और वो रामचंद्र शुक्ल का किताब पढ़े बिना लिखता है तो वो हमेशा गलत ही लिखेगा। यदि कोई व्यक्ति हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास लिखने के पहले रामचंद्र शुक्ल की किताब को नहीं पढ़ता है तो हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास को अधूरा रह जाएगा। इस प्रकार से समीक्षक ने आचार्य रामचंद्र शुक्ल जी के हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास की प्रशंसा की है। तो बच्चों, इस प्रकार हम हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास के विषय में हम अध्ययन करेंगे। कक्षा में हम लोग हिंदी भाषा, व्याकरण एवं हिंदी साहित्य के इतिहास के विषय में हम लोग विस्तार रूप से पढ़ेंगे। इतना कहते हुए मैं अपने वक्तव्य को समाप्त करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
विद्यार्थीगण, आपको यस ओरिएन्टेसन प्रोग्राममा सम्पूर्ण 11औं श्रेणीका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई सेन्ट डोमिनिक परिवारको तर्फबाट न्यानो स्वागत जनाउँदै म प्रभात थापा बन्सुहाराबाट र म यस विद्यालयमा नेपाली भाषा पढाउने गर्दछु। र विद्यार्थीगण, सर्वप्रथम म तिमीहरूलाई नेपाली साहित्यको बारेमा छोटो एकदम संक्षेपमा दुई चारवटा मेरो आफ्नो विचार राख्न गइरहेको छु। र भाषा, नेपाली भाषाको अध्ययन हामीले गर्नेछौँ आउँदो क्लासमा। र यसबारेमा म छोटकरीमा तिमीहरूलाई दुई चारवटा कुरा राख्न गइरहेको छु। र हामीले भाषा साहित्यमा जसरी अङ्ग्रेजीमा हामी कविता, कथा, नाटक, निबन्ध इत्यादि हामी पढ्छौँ, त्यही भाषामा नेपाली भाषामा हामी त्यसैलाई रूपान्तरण गरेर हामी ड्रामाहरू, कविताहरू इत्यादि पढ्छौँ। र पछि गएर हामी यसलाई अध्ययन गर्दै जाँदाखेरि सर्वप्रथम हामीलाई भाषाको छोटो जानकारी हुन आवश्यक हुन्छ। त्यो चाहिँ के हो भने भाषालाई हामीलाई पश्चिम बङ्गाल सरकारको शिक्षा परिषदले प्रथम भाषाको रूपमा राखिएको छ र यो अत्यन्तै महत्त्वपूर्ण एउटा इलेक्टिभ सब्जेक्ट हो। र यसलाई हामीले एकदमै गहन रूपमा चिन्तन गरेर अध्ययन गरेर चाहिँ हामीले यो जुन बोर्ड परीक्षाहरू हामी अपियर गर्छौँ त्यसलाई हामीले एकदमै ध्यानपूर्वक चिन्तन गरेर परीक्षा दिनुपर्ने हुँदछ। त्यस कारणले गर्दा यसलाई हामीले गहन रूपमा लिनुपर्दछ। र विशेष गरेर म नेपाली शिक्षकको हैसियतबाट चाहिँ के भन्न चाहन्छु भने नेपाली भाषालाई हामीले त्यति नै महत्त्व दिएको हुनुपर्छ कि पछि गएर यो नेपाली भाषाले हामीले जुन आफ्टर ग्रेजुएसन अथवा मास्टर गरेपछि हामीले कम्पिटिटिभ इक्जाममा त्यहाँ एउटा प्रावधान राखिएको हुन्छ, हाम्रो नेपाली भाषाको पनि एउटा अप्सन छ। र त्यसमा हामीले प्रतिस्पर्धात्मक परीक्षा दिनुपर्दाखेरि यो भाषाको पनि हामीले प्रयोग गर्ने मौका त्यहाँ पाएको हुन्छ। तर हामीले त्यो अध्ययन नगरेर
Congratulations that you reached class 11. And talking about my subject, I will teach you all history. As you all know that history is not a new subject for you all. I think 6, 7, 8 or so and so on. So in the same way, history, as you all know, that it is a study about the past. So what has happened in the past, that is what you all will study. Talking about our syllabus, we've got within 8 chapters. And there, you study about different empires like the Macedonian Empire, you study about the Roman Empire, you study about geographical explorations, you study about different, you come across different scholars, different philosophers, and study about them. So here, I'd just like to say is that, there is a myth regarding history. Okay, so what is that myth? That myth is history is a very boring subject. Okay. Now you see here, anything which you do not put interest in, okay, that particular thing will be boring to you. You have to put interest in that. You have to concentrate. You have to listen carefully. You have to put interest in that and that, and only after that, things are going to be interesting for you. Same goes with history. Okay. This is all I would like to say. So congratulations once again and welcome back to us.
So I do not need to introduce myself, I think, because you are very well acquainted with me. So yes, I'm Madam Anuradha Kawas, and till last year I was the class teacher of class 11, but this year due to many added responsibilities, I will no longer continue as a class teacher, but I'll be there at the back to watch over you when you are in class 11 as well as in class 12. And anyways, let me talk about the subject which I'll be teaching. You have English, and the English is divided into prose and poetry. Okay, so the first portion, that is for this story portion, will be tackled by Sir John Herald, and the interesting part, that is poetry, beauty, language, flow, emotion, all these will be handled by me. And this poetry portion is very interesting because you'll get to learn about and analyze, feel a lot of different collection of beautiful poetries are there. And well, a little bit the stricter part is the grammar section, and the grammar section is also very interesting because if you are grammatically wrong, then your poetry and your prose are both wrong. So that is a very important part of grammar, which I'll be helping you, and you have to promise to work very hard with me, okay? Because I will see to it that you are going to really work hard. Well, that is about English. Now, let me tell you about one more subject which I will be dealing with in the science stream. So, as a science faculty member, I will be handling biology, and it's not at all a new subject for me because I've been handling biology since long time immemorial. It's been decades that I've been handling biology, and even in class 10 and 9 I used to teach. So life science or biology is a song for me, and you'll sing along with me, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about biology. In class 7 you have got 5 minutes that is divided into diversity of living organisms. Then you have got structural organization, then you have cell structure, plant physiology, and human physiology. So 5 units are there, and we are going to cover each unit properly. There are going to be a lot of tests and a lot of learning, because even though we are the 13th batch, even though you will be the 13th batch of our school, but still science stream is the first batch. So we should all work together and try to take out the best of results. Yeah, so it is exam time for all of us who are involved in science. Now, in diversity of living organisms, we will be studying about classification of different animal and plant kingdoms, and we'll also be learning about flowering, non-flowering plants, angiosperms, gymnosperms, and also we'll be learning about vertebrates, invertebrates, and different types of living organisms. And in structural organization of plant, you will be learning about tissues and morphology and so on. And in cell structure and function, we will be learning about the different parts of the cell, the organelles, their functions, their roles, and what other different types of what are the different types of tissues, cells, and all these we'll be learning in cell structure. Whereas in plant physiology, which is a very big portion of your unit, you'll be dealing with same thing like osmosis, diffusion, and respiration on a cellular level, metabolism, hydroponics, photosynthesis, growth, and also hormones chapter, which you have already done in class 10. We'll also be studying that, but a little bit in an extensive level. We'll be learning about it in a little bit of detailed manner. So not to worry, it's a song and we'll sing it as I said. Now finally, we'll come to the human physiology. Then we'll be studying out the structure of the human body. We'll also be learning about digestion, absorption, circulation, excretory, and systems, and also disorders of the human body, and also locomotion chapter and movement chapter, which we have already done in class 10, and also the skeletal functions, etc. So that was a brief description about biology in class 11. So I hope that you all will be, very interested, and you all will be really promising, not me, not teachers, but yourself, that you are going to work very hard this year and in the coming year to take out a beautiful result with plenty of A+, and double A's. So thank you, and I move on to, let's go on to the next speaker, who will be teaching you about this computer applications. Thank you.
A very good morning, dear students, and also namaskar to the parents, if any parents are there behind watching this program. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this virtual orientation program. Now let me introduce myself. As you all know, I'm quite familiar among the students and the parents as well. Everyone calls me Chandra sir. Basically, I teach English, but in the higher secondary level, I teach EVS. So this year also I'll be teaching you environmental science. for class 11 in arts stream. Now let me talk briefly on what this EVS is all about. Environmental studies is all about learning the way how we should live and also trying to develop the sustainable strategies to protect our environment. Some of you might be wondering why, what you all can become after taking up these subjects, after you pursue the studies in this field. Well, after completing your studies in this field, you all can get a variety of courses or jobs to choose. You all can become environmental scientists also. You all can become environmental engineer also. And you all can easily get job in the private and government organizations. And you can do work in many other industries that are related to this field. And you can also you can also take up this subject for the mass public awareness movement, wherein you can enjoy working with your colleagues and other members too. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you once again to this orientation program. See you all soon in the classroom where you can have more interaction and learn a lot. Thank you. Hi students, good morning each and everyone out there. I hope you guys are doing well and safe during this pandemic. So, my name is Aditya and I will be teaching you guys computer application for science students, which is an additional subject. So, let me make it brief and quick for you guys. As you know, how computers are so important during our day-to-day lives, and as you know, everywhere, shops, big companies, everything, all the processes and works are done through computers, correct? And it is very essential and important to understand what a computer is and what it does to make our life easier, and to keep up with the pace with the coming technology and further things on. So it's an additional subject for you guys. So I will be teaching you basic things. It won't be a complex for you to understand, like what's computer and this the coding and stuff like that, but nothing like that. But it's just going to be a simple subject for you, wherein you will be understanding what a computer does and how it works basically, and the various applications that you can use in a computer to get things done and to make your work easier. So I'm sure I'll try my best to make it fun and interesting for you guys. And that's pretty much, and looking forward to working with you guys, teaching you, and let's have a good year ahead. And that's all from my end. You have a good day ahead.
Sir Aditya, I would also like you to speak a little bit about your college and education to the students, so they know exactly what they are dealing with. Thank you.
Yes, so about my background, I'm fully backed by a computer background, wherein I learned, very deeply about computer, doing coding, making up softwares, and designing website. Like, as you guys know, I use Facebook, Instagram, correct? So how that is made and what are the various processes which is behind all those things. So yeah, so basically my background, my college days were all into those, and I was pretty much hooked into those things. So yeah, I can definitely, full confidence that I can teach you what you guys need to know and what you guys need to get through your school. I mean, get through this year and maybe this subject. So how it's gonna be. So definitely I can help you guys out, and yeah, that's pretty much about my background. Yeah. Anything else, madam?
Sir, thank you very much. It was good, and as the days pass on, I think the children will get to know you better. Thank you, Sir Aditya. So that was
Good morning, students. Welcome to class 11. My name is John Rajapuri and I will be taking these classes along with the Coming back to the subject, yes, I will be taking your prose and play class. When we talk about prose is written or spoken form of language. Any language in its ordinary form. And in class 11, we have prose, and in prose, we have got short stories, and sometimes there are extracts from autobiography, or we can call it from speeches as well. So it's going to be a mix of all these short stories, and we'll get a glimpse into the life of famous people as well. So it's a very interesting subject. I have to put it to perspective. If you pay attention to it, it's going to be interesting. You'll get to learn plenty of good things, and you'll enjoy the class as well. And the play, I recommend all of you know when you know play, and in this class 11 syllabus, actually, it's not a form of play, but it's a summary of the plays, and it's also there in the form of story. So it's going to be very, very interesting. You'll get to know about the plays in summary form. It's going to be the form of story. So I believe all of you are going to enjoy the class, sit back, relax, and enjoy the class and the subject. So that's what I have to say about the subject and the class. Thanks.
So children, I'm back again to let you know a little bit about a very important part of your school life, and that deals with school rules and regulations. And you know, as usual, the times have changed now, so according to that only our school rules and regulations will also change. For example, I can't tell you about uniform now because I know for some time you'll be attending classes without your uniform, but even though when you are not in uniform also, when you are coming in your colored dress, you have to remember a few things regarding your hairstyle. That means you cannot come to school looking like rock stars, okay? Or pop stars or Instagram models. So you have to look like plain, simple students who are ready to work hard, and you should look like a student. We don't want any models here, okay? So models, you can be outside the school campus, there you can be anything, but within the school you will be simple, Sida, Sada, good children who are ready to work hard. And do not wear jewelry or clips, because, or especially expensive jewelry, because if it gets lost, then if you wear it and it gets lost, don't come to the office and say that we lost my gold ring and silver ring, so that we are not going to take that headache. You have to deal with that yourself. And next is that diary maintenance is very important. You have to bring your diary to school every day, all your leaves. And I tell you, a class teacher is very strict. Okay, Sir Johnny Harold is very strict with regard to attendance, and he collects a lot of fine. And with that fine, we end up buying your graduation gown and caps. So the money is put to good use. I can vouch for that. Okay, so he's a very strict teacher regarding attendance. Let me tell you that. And I support him, and all of us support him regarding this, because if you don't attend, that means you are missing out on a lot of classes and missing out on the chances of getting and scoring good percentage. Next is payment of fees, which is very important. Please do it by the 10th of every month. And next, when you become absent, you are going to write a proper leave application signed by your parents, not by yourself, but your parents. And we do not encourage any half-day leave. That is when the school runs its full day from 8:45 to 2 o'clock later on. So half-day leave, we do not encourage. If you want a half-day leave, we call the parents and ask whether you want to go out, because we do not want you, pretending to be sick in school, and then you go out and we find you gallivanting and, sitting in some restaurants and, eating something. So that let's avoid all those unpleasant things. No. Next is, let me tell you, carrying mobile phones is strictly prohibited. Because when you come for offline classes, your phones will be at home. Otherwise, it will be confiscated, and then when we give it back to you, it will come with a fine. That means you need to pay a fine for it, and then only you'll get it, and you call the parents also. Next, last and very important thing, we have the system of tests. Let me tell you about the tests and your exams. Altogether, you will have 4 exams and an additional exam at the end. So you have got 2 tests and 2 big exams. So tests, this year there might be some changes. We might do it semester wise, or we break the whole year. Your session begins from August now properly, up to the month of April or May. It depends upon when your exams are held, when your board exam or annual exam is held. So we might do it sem-wise or semester-wise, dividing into 3 months, or we'll do it according to the previous what we have done, about 2 tests and 2 exams. So that is still not, we are in the process of clarifying that. So we'll do it and inform you when you come to class. So please remember, and don't forget your session. Last time one important thing which I faced is that parents used to come with a fee card and used to think that your session is from July to December. July, August, September, October, November, December. Now you have to keep in mind who passes one class by studying only 5 months or 6 months. That you have to explain to your parents that your session begins from this year to the next year. It's not like as in you were from nursery to class 10 when your session used to be from January to December. So these are small things, small clarifications which I'm making beforehand only so that there will be no unpleasant situations and a lot of unnecessary explanations to do to you and to your parents. So I think that's it. We all are looking forward to meet you and get into the teaching learning process as soon as possible. So thank you, and if any parents and guardians are watching, I also extend my heartfelt greetings, namaste to you, and hope that you will cooperate with all of us so that we can contribute not only to the school, to your children, but also to our society and to the country at large. Thank you very much.